into the Ultimate Racing League, sponsored by digitalmotorsports.com and upshiftstore.co.uk. Please check those guys out. So this is reverse grid for race 2 from Kyoto Driving Park. We've got, let's go and have a look at the grid then. So we've got Jerry in pole position, Pablo in second, Chuck in third, Rodders in fourth, Molson in fifth, Dean in sixth, Unforgiven in seventh, Thomas in eighth, Paul in ninth, and Wadru, the winner of race 1, in 10th. We haven't got too fast for use in this race, as you couldn't make it on this second race, technical issue. So as explained, we've got most drivers on racing mediums. Starting with racing mediums, got to do at least 10 minutes on them. All exception of Thomas, who's gone with the racing super softs for the first stint. So we'll see how this all pans out. Remember, there's pit stops and possible fuel stops as well here, so let's go straight to the action. Revs are up. Should be off any second, and away we go. Good clean start by everybody, I think. Yeah, all off to a clean start as they head off to the turn 1. Jerry in first, Pablo still in second, Chuck one up behind him in third, Molson in fourth, Rodders in fifth, Thomas in sixth, Dean in seventh, Unforgiven in eighth. So Jerry through the S's, nice and clean through there, everybody. Pablo remains in second with Chuck right up behind him. 3 cars right up behind Chuck. You've got Rodders, Molson and Thomas all having a look. So Chuck still remains there in third. Rodders right up behind him, almost pushing each other along here, the cars. This looks like it's going to be a screamer already, this race. Chuck having a look now. Head round this right-hander's got on the inside, he has. Yeah, well done, Chuck. So head out there. Oh, Chuck, oh, he's lost it. Chuck has lost it. Chuck, oh, that's unfortunate by Chuck. Drops all the way back to the back of the pack. I think it's just a bit too much power as he exited the right-hander. Just brought him round, hit the barrier, and yeah, it's really unfortunate by Chuck, but we'll get back up there. Remember, there's a pit stop as well, so if he can just keep himself going. I think he's on racing mediums, we know that. It's only Thomas who's on the super softs. So we should be able to get up with these guys pretty soon. So it's very unfortunate by Chuck though. Thank you, Wadru got up to 7th now. With Unforgiven in 8th, Paul in 9th. So Wadru, the winner of race 1, remember, up the inside of Molson. Has he got there? I think he has. Here he goes round the outside of Molson, gets himself up in the 6th. Good pass by Wadru, now he's hunting down Dean in 5th. Gonna have a look down here, I think. And that just sticks behind him, so Dean in 5th, right behind Rodders as they go through the S's. All a little bit wide by Dean, but no problem. Right, head up here for a final bend of the lap. Head on to lap 2 now. Thomas takes up the lead now from Jerry, so Thomas has got himself up front, but of course, remember, Thomas is on the racing super soft, so that's why he's up there, he's getting away. It's really about what time the guys with the mediums want to come in. Do they just do the 10 minutes? Do they stretch it out further? All depends, I suppose, how they feel with it, but Thomas is really pulling away now with Jerry in second. Dean up into third now with Rodders behind him in 4th. So Rodders chasing down Dean. I think that's Wadru just going out a little bit wide, or was it Pablo? I think it might be Pablo actually going out a little bit wide. So Wadru now up into 5th, chasing down Rodders in 4th. Won't get him there though, he's right behind him. So yeah, Rodders remains in 4th place as they go around the tricky little right-hander. Pablo in 5th, having a good race so far, Pablo. Wadru in the inside though. Wadru should get himself up. Oh, little nudge, no problem though. So himself up into 5th, does Wadru, yeah. Now he's going to chase down Rodders with Molson right behind. And 7th as well, so Pablo back to 6th. Paul now having a look at Pablo. Goes around the inside of Pablo. Yeah, gets there, so Paul into 6th now. Chasing down, he's just going to follow Wadru, I think. He's going to try and stick with Wadru if he can. They come round this right-hander. Roger ran the outside of Rodders. Don't think he's going to make that, or is he? Maybe he has. No, Roger holds him off, so Roger's still in 5th. They come up the top, over the rise. Paul sticking right behind him in 6th. With Pablo sticking right behind Paul in 7th. Let's do it all now. Roger, has he got Rodders? I think he has on the inside. No, just nearly loses it, Wadru. Gets his back tyres on the grass out there. Good well to hold that. That could have been really nice. And Paul has a bit of a squiggle as well. He got himself on the grass too, so he drops back down to 6th now. So Dean now in 3rd with chasing down Jerry. In 2nd, go back here. So Paul now looking at Wadru. Sticks right behind him. So Paul up into 5th with Wadru in 4th. Keeps it nice and tight around there, does Paul. Really wants to follow Wadru wherever he goes, just trying to keep with him. But Pablo having a great race this time round, because he's sticking with him as well, with Rodders in 7th behind him. Pablo having a look at Paul. No, he won't make it there, too far back. A little bit further back, so Pablo Rodders with Molson trying to catch or get on the back of Rodders. With Unforgiven in 9th. Being chased down by Chuck now in 10th. Oh, Pablo's dropped down to 10th, so Pablo must have had an off there. And he must have gone off there on that tricky little right-hander. So he's got himself at the back now into 10th. So unfortunate there for Pablo. Chuck in 9th, chasing down Unforgiven. He's chasing down Molson. He's chasing down Rodders. So we've got 4 or 5 cars here, all chasing down each other. Of course, still early in the race, of course, only 3rd lap in. Oh, Rodders and Molson go wide. Rodders went wide and Molson just kind of followed him round, and both went a bit wide there. So Unforgiven going to have a look up the inside of Molson. I think he's going to get there. This next right-hander, but now he's on the outside of this next left-hander. Molson's got the position there. I think you're going to go around the outside there. Well, Unforgiven's going to have a go. So remains in 8th, Unforgiven, with Molson in 7th. Rodders in 6th. Chasing down Paul in 5th, with Wadru still in 4th. Thomas, of course, still out in front and he's racing super softs. Molson going a little bit wide again. Going to give it opportunity to Unforgiven now, and Unforgiven probably will get him across now as they head across the line, neck and neck. And Molson just holds him off. Unforgiven's going to switch back to the inside for this next left-hander. Not quite, but he's right up there. Right up behind him now. Good drive out there, did Unforgiven. He's going to push Molson along a little bit. He's going to push it up towards Rodders and Paul. He's going to have a look down there to Unforgiven on the inside. No, too far back. Stick here with a 2nd. Unforgiven. Going to have a look, is he? Is he going to go out the inside? No. Did think about it. Goes for the switch back. A little bit of door to door, but no problem. Now still neck and neck. It's almost been like this since the line, since they crossed the line. Oh, and Unforgiven does get there, I think. It does. Great move by Unforgiven. Got himself on the outside, but then was on the inside as they went through the S's there. But Molson not giving up now. He's on the inside. Runs a bit wide. It's Unforgiven. So Molson gets back into 7th, does he? This is unbelievable between these two. I'm sticking with these two guys because this is unbelievable at the moment. Almost had a full lap where they've been. Oh, Molson just broke himself there. Went a little bit wide, so that gave a place to Chuck as well. So Chuck goes through. Molson dropped back down to 9th. He's still going to look at Chuck, who's Does he get there? And surely not around the outside, does he? No, Chuck's really really good right on that inside curve there. Had no chance, but Molson is on the outside now, but through the inside, so he got there. Yeah, that's a great move by Molson. Great pass. Oh, Unforgiven gets himself in the dirt too. So has Molson got past Unforgiven again? Has Unforgiven dropped back? No, it didn't put him off too much, to be fair. So Pablo on this as well. So Pablo right up behind Chuck. So this 4-car battle at the moment, we'll stick with this, I think. Everything else looks to be quite stable ahead of these. Unforgiven pushing Molson along. And that's bringing Chuck and Pablo along the two with them. So Molson still in 7th. That was a little bit wide again, but yeah, Unforgiven gets there. So Molson right up behind him, pushing Unforgiven along now. Now we've gone past the 10-minute mark on this race. So at any point now, someone could go in the pits, the ones on the mediums, if they wanted to, and change compound. If they wish, they don't have to, but it's gone past that time, so the rules say they can pick now if they wanted. So will anyone come in this early, or will they just stick it out as Molson runs wide again? So Molson goes a little bit wide and drops down to 9th. Chuck goes into 8th. Chuck will try and follow Unforgiven through. Unforgiven still in 7th. There's a bit of a gap then to Rodders in 6th, who's chasing down Paul still in 5th. So Rodders fancies a bit of this. He's going to try and see if he can get past Paul, get himself into 5th position. Can't get there yet. Really have a look there. Did think about it, so let's have a look a little bit ahead of him. So we've got Dean, Jerry and Wadru now ahead of them. 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Jerry's still in 2nd, with Wadru's got himself up into 3rd. Being really right at the back of Wadru. So head round to complete another lap. Let's see. No, oh, someone's dived in, and it was Wadru who's dived in the pit, so he's gone into the pit, so Wadru's made the first move on the tyres. So he's going to go on to presumably the Racing Super Softs as he drops down to the back of the grid. But of course he's going to have some pace with those new tyres, possibly some more fuel to try and catch these guys. With Thomas stretching his gap out in front. Remember, he started on Super Soft, so he has got to change on the mediums at some point. But he's still got, what, probably 20 minutes left of the race, so he's got some time to do that. So Jerry in 2nd still, with Dean in 3rd. Not giving up, he's going to hunt down Jerry, see if he can get himself up into that top 2. So Rodders has got past Paul, so Rodders has got past Paul in that battle for 4th and 5th. Paul sticking with him though. So Rodders did get past him at some point. Did look like he was getting closer to him, in all fairness, before we switched cameras. Paul not giving up, he's right up behind him now. Now can he put the pressure on Rodders, and can he get him past? Head through the fast sections now. And this right-hander, Rodders goes a little nudge. Rodders went a bit wide. Paul just nudged him. That's given Unforgiven a little bit of a chance now to get past. And I think Unforgiven has got past Paul, so Unforgiven with that little error by Paul and Rodders has allowed Unforgiven through. So Unforgiven comes through into 5th. Chuck's now coming on the back of Paul as well, so we've got another 4-car battle now. Chuck fancies a bit of this. So we head up to final bend. Unforgiving, having a look at Rodders. No, not quite. Now we've got a few cars now, all going in. Yeah, we've got quite a lot of cars. So Dean's in, Jerry's in, Unforgiven's in, Chuck's in, Molson's in. So quite a lot of them have gone in. Paul's remained out, no, in third still. So Rodders and Paul have stayed there. But Thomas still out front. So Rodders in second. Rodru's got himself up in the fourth after his pit stop. So Rodru is really going now. See if he can get himself up. Remember, he's had his stop now. That should see him through to the end, in all honesty. Maybe with a bit of fuel saving as well. So everyone's out now. So Rodru in fourth, Paul's in third, having a look, still chasing down Rodders in second. Rodders a little bit on the grass, I think there. Just got a little bit out of control there, but settles it down. Yeah, gets himself a penalty. Thought he went a little bit wide. He's got half a second penalty that he's got to get rid of at some point. It's not the easiest track to get rid of penalties, to be fair. There's not really any slow enough corners to be able to just get rid of it easily without having to actually slow down. So that'll give hope to Paul a little bit, knowing that there's someone with a penalty in front of him. So he does get rid of it though, Rodders, but that has given Paul the opportunity to get back into second spot. So Paul gets back into second with Rodders back to third. Rodru in fourth, chasing them down. Jerry in fifth after his pit stop. Doing well with Dean in sixth, Chuck in seventh. Unforgiving in eighth, Molson in ninth. Pablo still at the back in 10th. A little bit of a baptism of fire here for Pablo, but as I say, it's a bit of a wild card in here tonight. But this will give him experience racing against these guys. That's what it's all about, just get a little bit more practice, a little bit more experience against other drivers as well. So as much as he's at the back, he'll be enjoying it still. So yeah, as it's suspected, Paul and Rodders have gone in for their stop now. So Thomas in first, remains out in first, he hasn't come in yet. So Paul and Rodders in the pits with Rodru chasing him down, and Rodru goes past them as they're in the pit. So Rodru goes into second. So he does get that, then places back from pitting early. Paul and Rodders dropping down to 7th and 8th at the moment, whilst they're still getting their tyres changed and fuel in. So Jerry up into third now. Jerry doing well in this race so far. It was unfortunate in race one after he went off. Going to make up for it in this one, that's for sure, he's thinking himself. So Dean being chased now by Chuck. So Dean in fourth, Chuck in fifth, with Unforgiven in sixth. Their tyres are just about warmed up now, and super soft's coming into play. Feel a whole lot better when you change from Dean going wide there. Allow Chuck to get right onto the back of him, but as I was saying, once you change from a medium to a super soft, you do really feel the difference. Sticks to the road a lot better, of course, and you know that's obviously all part of the game, and it's what you want. So Dean in fourth, Chuck in fifth. Unforgiven Ralph right on the back of Chuck in sixth. We've got Paul in seventh after his pit stop, with Rodders in eighth, Molson in ninth, Pablo still in 10th. Go back up to this battle here. Chuck on the outside, looking on the outside of Dean. Does he get there? He does get there. Great move by Chuck. Gets himself into fourth, so Chuck doing well. Dean holding off Unforgiven. He's fighting back as well. He's really fighting back with Chuck. But Chuck holds it there in fourth. yet again and have a fork up. Oh, Dean goes well wide and off track, so loses several positions there. Paul goes through into 6th as well, so unfortunate for Dean. Just a little bit too fast through the mini S's there, and as I said earlier, it was you get yourself out there and it's difficult to recover. So Unforgiven getting chased down by Paul now. Unforgiven chasing down Chuck, so 3 cars here now really battling it out. Rodders in 7th, trying to get onto the back of this group. Stick with these 3 for the second. Unforgiven putting the pressure on now for Chuck. Now, Paul might have just tagged the barriers there, I think he did. Just slowed him down a little bit. Not too much though, so Chuck's still out in 4th. Still holding off Unforgiven in 5th, with Paul in 6th. Unforgiven comes out, has a look. Good move by Unforgiven. Goes on the inside of Chuck. Just darts himself onto the inside and got there. So good move for Unforgiven, gets himself into 4th now. So Chuck back down to 5th. Paul still in 6th. Chuck not giving up though. Has a look on the inside. No, not quite. Headlights blazing. Of course, it's a bit later in the day now on this race, so lights on. These 3 still really pushing. Up over the rise. And the hairpin now, the left-hander. Hard on the brakes. Nicely round now, all 3 of them. Go back a little bit, see Dean being hounded by Molson now. So Molson's got through, Rodder's gone back to 9th. So Molson's got through to 8th. Now he's chasing down Dean in 7th. He's having a look, gets himself up there, good move, or a little bit of, yeah, gets himself, got his nose up there. I think it was fair. Got his nose up the inside of Dean. Controlled it well, went through, so Molson into 7th. Now Rodder's having a look at Dean. Has he got there? No, not quite. So Dean just slipping back a little bit. So maybe his tyres are not quite what he wanted. All Dean and Molson going out wide on the grass, but it didn't really stop him, although Rodder did get through past Dean. So now Rodder's chasing down Molson. Head down to this fast left-hander. So a little dab of the brakes just to steady the car. Power on, away you go. Through the little kink, then down the hill. It's that tricky light right-hander. With all the camber. Rodder's having a look on the outside. You won't go on the outside round there. No, so remains there in 8th, Rodder's, but still Dean having a look. Dean's not giving up either. So still a 3-car battle. Can't really go away from this at the moment. This looks to be where it's all happening at the moment. Although looks like there's a good battle up ahead as well. Just stick with this though for a sec. Dean's still having a look on Rodder's. Will he get down there? Rodder's still having a look on the outside, and Dean does get through, I think. Rodder's gone a little bit wide, so he does get through Dean. And it's all clean through there. I don't think there was any nudge there at all. I just think Rodder's went a bit wide. Open the door for Dean. Now Dean hounding Molson. Tries to crisscross, but Molson's going to be on the inside. Runs a little bit on the grass, but it'll be fine there. So yeah, got the inside for the new little mini S's. Through there nicely. So let's just have a quick look at this battle up here. So Paul in 5th, Unforgiven in 4th. So Unforgiven has got himself into 4th now with chucking 6th behind Paul. Let's just go back to this one. I think this is where it is happening. So Dean, well, Rodder's still hassling Dean. On the wrong side though, again on the outside. Rodder's having a lot of looks on the outside of a lot of these turns, just can't quite make it. But you know what, why not? Try anything, as long as it's fair. Molson again, he had a lot of pressure in race 1 and he's got another load of pressure in this race too. He's holding his nerve at the moment anyway. As we go into the final stages of this final race. We've got 5 minutes, about 5-6 minutes left now. Rodder's up the inside. That's a great move if he gets there. He does get there. So Rodder's up into 7th. But Molson not giving up. There's 3 abreast coming around there. And Rodder's in 7th now. Dean having a look on Molson. So Dean up into 8th now with Molson in 9th. So Molson going out a little bit wide again. I don't know whether his tyres have given up a little bit. Or has he just succumbed from the pressure? Not sure. He's just having a little rest maybe, but there's not long left, so you don't want to be having a rest for too long. So Dean still hounding Rodders then. 7th and 8th. And have a look up here, so Paul now chasing down Unforgiven. Looking for that full spot. Unforgiven running a little bit wide. Paul having a look up the inside. Tried to get his nose up there, didn't quite work. So now he's going to stick behind Unforgiven. Up front, he got Wadru, who's made his way up to first with Thomas, who's obviously come in and done his tyre change and fuel change. But he's into 2nd, is Thomas with Jerry in 3rd. Stick with his battle for the 2nd. There's Jerry in front now. Can these two, can they get up to Jerry, make it a 3-car battle in his closing stages of this 2nd race? Window wiper going again for Unforgiven. Oh, having a quick look, no. Too far back. Really hugging them rumble strips, both of them. Power out, power down. Down the hill. Hard on the brakes. Paul going to have a look up the inside, is he? Did have a look, but it wasn't close enough, or wasn't far enough up the side. So remains in 4th, Unforgiven. Runs a bit wide there, Unforgiven, but no problem. And are they catching Jerry? In 3rd. That's what they're hoping that they're going to be able to do. Oh, Unforgiven runs wide. Paul's going to have a look at that. There's a gap open for Paul. But side by side. That's still there in 4th, Unforgiven, and he's in the right position now for this next right-hander. Another great race here. Superb race again tonight, guys. This is brilliant. From start to finish. So still Unforgiven in 4th. I think they are closing in Jerry. It does look like they are closing down Jerry. Slowly but surely. But have they got enough? Oh, Jerry just a little bit on the grass there now. That might have pulled them in a bit closer too. And they have really come closer to Jerry now. Now, with only a few minutes left now, can they get themselves into a podium position? In fact, Jerry's gone in, so Jerry has left it late, so I don't know whether he's made an error. I think he must have made a mistake with his fuel consumption, because he's already come in. That's his 2nd stop. He shouldn't have to do a 2nd stop, so perhaps he miscalculated on his fuel. And that's really going to chuck him down to the back of the grid now. That's unfortunate again for Jerry. That's 2, if you like, mistakes in both races. But yeah, it's really unfortunate. So anyway, Unforgiven gets himself up into third, Paul into fourth. Thomas in second with Wadru now again out in front. So he was first to pit, remember. Came in early, came in about maybe the 11th, 12th minute mark. Come off the mediums, got himself onto super softs. And it's paid out, it's paid dividends for him because he's out there, out in front, pulling away from Thomas in second. But Thomas, who was leading most of the race at the beginning, because obviously as he started on the supers, he was out in front for a while. He's only lost a spot, so we do well still to get second. So that's good. It's good racing. So Thomas is there. So Paul now has actually got third. So Paul's got past Unforgiven. So can Paul now, as we head into the final lap, can Paul stick to third and get himself onto the podium? Let's just go with the leader for a minute as we get to the end of this race. So Wadru heads up to the final bend, final lap for another victory tonight from Kyoto Driving Park. Congratulations to Wadru, 2 out of 2, weaving, flashing lights. Well done, congratulations to Wadru, with Thomas coming in second. Well done, Thomas. Good racing, Thomas. Now Unforgiven's got past Paul, so Paul's made a mistake or something at the end of the lap, so Unforgiven, he does get third with Paul close behind in fourth. Chuck coming in fifth. Well done, Chuck. Fifth place, and a bit of a gap back, and we've got Rodders who's coming in sixth, with Jerry in seventh, which is too bad actually after that mistake from Jerry. Got himself seventh, then Molson in eighth, Dean in ninth, with Pablo bringing up the rear in 10th. So that was race 2, guys, and thank you again for watching. Remember to keep track with this championship along with the other one. It'll be on as a weekly thing, just listen out, and I'll see you soon. Thanks very much.